watchers, welcome back to the channel. Today I have the pleasure to feature this piece, yes, from CIGA Design. This is 有品, meaning style. So this is actually, I think, distributed, or at least the overarching company is actually Xiaomi, but 有品 is kind of their style division, and CIGA Design is, I think, a subsidiary of that. So look at that relief on that case there, showing the dial of this watch. It's really quite an interesting packaging, and the back is just some basic barcodes and whatnot about where this comes from. And then look at this book style packaging, showing again a stylized diagram of the watch there. Very nicely done, actually, much like the earlier CIGA Design piece, which I reviewed quite a long time ago. And inside here is just a bit like a book. Again, it talks about the Red Dot Awards, and I'm not actually sure whether this one won an award, but Red Dot's actually a German design award. All right, and then just a little cheeky window there to show you the watch itself with the straps inside. So let's just take this out and fit this silicone rubber strap on for this particular review. Okay, so let's just put this on, and very nice, quick release spring bars that you can see there, and that's the same for the leather as well. And I'm not going to show this on this particular video. I'll do a screen capture or a inset capture of this one later, because this one isn't fantastic, and I rather prefer the silicone rubber that you see here. Okay, so let's just put that aside and show you the watch in more detail. So guys, this is the Xiaomi 有品 CIGA Design Z series automatic watch, and I'll just move that hand back a little bit so you can see the name there, CIGA Design, on the dial there. And clearly it is definitely a skeleton dial watch, and a pretty well done one, I guess, in my opinion, of all the Chinese skeletons that I've seen. So the MSRP for this particular watch is around 250. It's a bit mysterious exactly how much this should be listed for, but on sale it's usually around 200. As I checked it right now on GearBest, who supplied this watch, it's actually slightly under 200 USD that you can get this watch, which represents, I think, pretty great value. The movement in here, so let's just talk about the movement now. The movement is, as far as I gather from researching various sites and sources on the webs, is actually a custom seagull. So this, I gather that it's based on the Seagull ST2553JK. It's a custom movement for this particular watch, 21,600 beats per hour, and other stats you can see on the left of screen there. The rated accuracy I discovered was supposed to be -15 plus 30 seconds per day, but this is actually very pleasingly well regulated. It's running about +6 seconds per day over the last week that I've been using this, so pretty darn good. It does have hacking, and it does have manual winding at the 0 position of this particular crown here. Okay, so that's the movement in here. Moving on to the case, then the case here is 41 millimeters wide between my fingers there. If you measure the crown guard, this very distinct looking crown guard structure, it adds a couple of millimeters, but at the case it's actually 41 millimeter. In this case, it's 316L steel in a tonneau case shape here. Thickness 12.3 millimeters. Lug width is 22 millimeters with a lug-to-lug distance. So right at the edge of the steel here between my thumbs is 48 millimeters. Overall weight with the silicone rubber strap is only 90 grams, so under 100 grams. Pleasingly light, but also fairly substantial on the case itself here. Moving on to the finishing. Now the top surface, you can see there as I pan around, is longitudinal brushing, right? You can see there it does have these matte cutouts, just where the lug, between the lugs are. This little bit here is actually matte steel or bead blasted. I don't know how they finish it, but it's a matte finishing. And then those, I guess, cuboidal decors in this area here is actually polished. Okay, that's really what you're seeing here. And then this dark area here is actually, hopefully you can see my finger passing behind there. It's actually a crescentic vent there, and you can see that stem where the crown comes out is actually red highlighted. So nice little details that they have there. You know, that's not just a black thing, it actually is a cut through on the case side there. You know, very nice little things that you can see here. There is a polished bevel. Okay, you can see there's a polished bevel here, and then on the side is a longitudinal brushing, but you know, around that CIGA Design word there, you can see again it's a matte finish or bead blasted, as you know, as you might call it. Again, not sure how they achieved that, but it's a pretty nice finishing that they've managed to achieve here. Right, again on this side, right, bead blasting surfaces intervening with the longitudinal brushing, and then again those cube decorations are polished. The case back and the bottom of the watch, longitudinal brushing here. Okay, so that's the finishing, really quite nicely done throughout this case here that you can see there. That rectangular case back is screw secured. Okay, there's 4 screws there securing that rectangular display case back to show you the rotor and the back of the movement there, you can see there. So with that case back and the push crown, right, it is not a screw down crown, but it's got a, you know, a bit of a symbolism or signage there with the C for CIGA Design. The water rating is only 30 meters. I wouldn't expect anything more with a 4 screw secured case back. Sometimes they can push this to 50 meters, but typically that's really all you're getting with a watch case design like this in all the ones that I've seen. Right, moving on to the dial where a lot of the action is. So this one obviously is a skeleton dial. It's finished in matte, at least that top surface of metal there is finished in a matte finishing. But of course you can see all the other types of finishes peeping through underneath you know, those bits there where they have skeletonized this dial. It does have a chapter ring around the periphery, you know, around the shape of this tonneau case there. So, you know, that does have those 60 minutes that you can point the minute hands to when setting the time. The hands are partially skeletonized baton style hands. Okay, they have a kind of this chevron shaped red tips as well as a white bit just proximal to that. And that is actually where the loom is. And the second hand is just a red stick, a fairly simple red stick. And really the loom is only on those chevrons on the minute and hour hands. A loom shot right here, of course, to let you see how it looks like. The glass on top of that is actually a curved sapphire crystal, and it's pretty nicely done how it sits with the case there. So that you see how it kind of just, you know, sits flush with the case. Very nicely done curved sapphire. All right, moving on to the strap then. This particular strap, you know, you've seen it as I took it out of the box. CIGA Design here, silicone rubber, pretty nicely done with a matte, you know, finished buckle here. And as you saw me put it on, it does have those quick release straps here. Okay, that's the description. You know, I'm gonna put in a shot right here of how this watch looks like on the wrist with the leather strap. The leather strap I don't enjoy as much, but you know, I like it how they have provided a more conservative design, a more conservative strap if you wanted to use this in more formal occasions. Of course, this silicone rubber is less formal. It does come in blue and black. This bright red, of course, is going to be completely informal in its appearance. So guys, that's the description of the watch. Let's just put it on for a wrist shot for you guys now. And there it is, the CIGA Design Z Series watch on my 17 centimeter wrist. That's how it sits. 12.3 millimeter stick, so not too thick. And then remember, it's 48 millimeter lug height there for my 17 centimeter wrist. I just get away with it, but of course it is actually a more casual watch in this band, and you know, that's absolutely fine. I really enjoy sporting this piece in the week that I have had it so far. Okay guys, so that's the description. So what have I enjoyed about this watch? You know, honestly, what a darn good package this is. I really like the package for 200 USD. Attractive, well-finished tonneau case. Really, the finishing I can't pick any faults with it. It's really nicely finished, achieving what exactly they want to do. A very nicely done skeletonized dial. Like a lot of Chinese watches don't do skeletonized dials very well. I think this one is just about as good as it gets in terms of the range that you can see coming out of China, or at least it's one of the best I've seen. It's got that custom seagull movement, which is nothing to sneeze at. I expect that this will be a reliable product. And it's got sapphire on top of that. It's not just mineral glass that they've gone for. 3 color strap options, which are very casual in the silicone rubber, but they do give a leather strap as a backup, for more formal wear or formal occasions. I will say, however, as a negative, this is relatively average. It's not a great quality strap, but you do have that option if you so choose as a backup. What other cons or things I will note? I will say this case back is completely flat. So if you're expecting a tonneau case that wraps around your wrist, it's not that. But having said that, it's actually still reasonably comfortable, and it sits pretty nicely, and it doesn't dig into your skin, in any way. So comfort-wise, it's absolutely fine. I think if it was curved, it would be even more comfortable, as tonneau cases might go. And lastly, I will say that one of the main things to consider if you are considering a watch like this isn't a watch really to tell the time easily, right? You can't glance at it and tell the time. In fact, sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 or 4 seconds to look at it carefully to get the time out of this. But you might not mind that, because it's really quite a nice dial to stare at, and you can stare at this quite long. But look, if you want a watch that you need quick ways to tell the time, at a glance on your wrist, this is definitely not that watch, right? This is not designed for that whatsoever. But what a fantastic conversation piece. Certainly people have looked at this quite a lot in the last week that I've worn this and asked, wow, interesting watch. What is that? And it's a great conversation starter. So guys, there we have it. This watch that has been very enjoyable for me to feature and wear. Let me know what you think about this, the Xiaomi有品 CIGA Design Z Series Automatic, particularly have any of their other products. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoy my content, do consider subscribing. I put out new content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys next time.